How's it going, everyone? It's Harvey from Tour Review, and today I am reviewing the Yamaha TMAX 500DX 2017 model. And you're probably thinking, Harvey, this isn't a motorcycle. You are right. This is a 530cc parallel twin sports scooter. It's absolutely so much fun to ride. It genuinely brings the fun to scootering. A couple of the specs to go over first off. So, 216 kilo wet weight, which is pretty heavy for a scooter, but you don't notice it. It's very, very well balanced. And it does have a new chassis for this year, which handles absolutely amazingly. Also, a couple of things to go over. Power-wise, 45 brake horsepower stock. We've also got 53 Newton meters of torque, and my god, this thing absolutely moves for a scooter. I was with a friend on the back the other day, and we were cruising at 80 mile an hour on the dual carriageway with the heated seat on, heated grips, and the bike was not struggling at all, sitting around sort of 6,000 RPM. Superly duper easy. Suspension wise, we've got upside down forks on the front there, and they handle absolutely lovely, accompanied with some bloody good brakes on the front. I will admit they stop very well, and I do believe they are Brembos on the front, and we have a twin disc, so yeah, they stop very well. So this model comes with traction control as standard and also ABS. It is honestly the most prestige scooter you can possibly find. It's just so smooth, powerful, but also it's very practical. As you can see just here on the screen, there's no key with a bike. It's completely keyless. So the key's currently in my pocket, and if I go and press the starter switch here, the dash all lights on. And from there, we've got two buttons down here. We've got a seat button, which will allow this seat to expand up and accompany two half-face helmets. Awesome shopping. We've also got a little fuel cap here, which has a 15-litre fuel tank, which we can fill up from there. On the dash, it's something else. The dash shows a speedo of up to 130 miles an hour. Realistically, I believe Yamaha estimate about 110, 120, which, to be honest, in this thing's absolutely ridiculous. We've got a rev gauge there, which takes us up to 9,000 revs. And one of the awesome features we have on this model is the electronics package. So from here, basically, there's a mode button just on this switch, and we can toggle that using these two toggles here. And that will allow us to adjust the heated seat, the heated grips, and also the adjustable windscreen. So if I click through this, and that's taken us now to the windscreen feature there. From this button here, we can actually elevate the windscreen higher to deflect more wind on the motorway and that sort of thing. Then when you get into a town, a bit more airflow, and we can manually adjust the screen from there. Also as well, we can actually program the heated grips and heated seat. So if I flick through here, I can basically, if you can see the little heated grip emblems come on now, I can flick that 1, 2 and 3 to the hottest setting, and then if I click through on the mode button again, I can get to the heated seat. It's only a heated rider seat, not passenger, and so we can flick that 1, 2, 3 to the highest setting, then turn it back down. And also we have a little information cluster there, mode, so we can look at our speedo, sorry, our mileage in miles, and also our trip meters, and also check out the air temperature, which is currently 31 degrees in England, and also we can check out our miles per gallon and that sort of thing. It's genuinely a really fun bike. New for this year, they've added in something called My TMAX Connect, which basically is a program that allows you to connect up your smartphone to the bike. They've also started implementing a tracker as standard with these models. As many of you may know, the TMAX is a very, very well stolen scooter, especially throughout central London. Moped crime is very rampant right now. And my friends and I were just out last night having a little swim in the river, and this gang of TMAXs, I reckon about 5 of them, all rocked up. Luckily we got away, but we were probably there for half an hour, and I'm sure they were about to steal it. So the 11 grand price tag really does sort of make way for sort of theft, unfortunately. But that being said, it is an absolutely beautiful machine. We'll just have a little walk around it quick. As you can see, brand new 17 plate for this year. We've got a huge 160 section rear tyre on the back, which grips absolutely phenomenally and really does sort of tip into corners nicely. Huge brake on the back there. As you can see, we've actually got a twin caliper. So we've got one caliper there and one caliper there as well. So it really does do very well in terms of stopping power. And of course, in the front here, we've got those dual Brembos front discs, which are absolutely amazing. And again, the forks upside down, really nice feel and great handling on the bike. It's a beautiful sort of matte black colour for this year. And it really does look pretty sexy. I think you'll agree on. So the plan is now, we're just going to ride around some country roads, hopefully show you guys what the bike's like really in its element, sort of in terms of acceleration. We've also got 2 different riding modes, so it comes with a touring mode and a sports mode, and basically, as it is a ride-by-wire throttle, there's no actual cable connection. What you find is it just adjusts the sort of throttle sensor, so it doesn't sort of pick up too much in the sort of touring mode, but in the sports mode it really does become sort of more flickable and more sort of twitchy, which is quite fun. So you can sort of tailor it down quite a bit. Also, in terms of storage, you've got a nice little front compartment there, which should come down. You can store little bits and pieces in there as well. So I'll show you guys under the seat. So basically, once the key's on, once we've turned her on, all we've got to do is press the seat button here, and that will allow us to lift up that seat. And as you can see, I've got a bag under there at the moment, and it's got basically it gives you your tyre pressure readings, that sort of thing. And it's also got enough space to put, you know, some shopping and that sort of bits and pieces in it. Let's close it down. It's a really nice finished leather seat. It's, yeah. One thing riders may struggle with is if you're sort of smaller than I'm going to say about 5'7", it's got a very sort of wide leg length in terms of the sort of girth coming across. So you may find a bit of a struggle to sort of put your feet down. It's not a high seat height, it's just got a very sort of wide diameter, so you may find it quite difficult if you are on the smaller side. That being said, the 216 kilo sort of wet weight as such you don't feel it at all. It's very, very well sort of balanced on this bike, so it does handle lovely. And like I said, I've taken passengers cruising at 80 miles an hour, and it's absolutely a joy. All you do is just chuck the screen up, get rid of all the wind, and it's also got a cruise control mode from here. So basically, you press this little button in down here, then you set the speed, and then literally take your hand off the throttle, and it will just cruise at that speed. It's absolutely awesome. Alrighty then, let's get on the bike, show you guys what it's like, and yeah, awesome. Alrighty everyone, you've joined me on this absolutely fabulous day in England today. It is 30 degrees Celsius. We only get a couple of days like this a year, and it's absolutely beautiful. It really does sort of bring this country out in its absolute prime. Anyway, time to get our €5 touring shades on. And yes, I am squidding, so forgive me, Lord. You're probably wondering what this little lever is here. That's actually your parking brake. Surprisingly. So yeah, if you're wondering what that little lever was, that's what it is, just a parking brake. So if you leave it on a hill, instead of leaving the bike in gear, you can just put the parking brake on and you're good to go. Christ, these gloves are hot. Alrighty, let's pull her down. Whee! And get going. Oh. So let's turn her on, brakes in, start switch, and she's on. Fuel injected, Traction control and ABS is standard. Yeah, it's an absolute demon. Let's turn these heated grips off before my hands bake. And come down to there. Cool. We'll get the screen on, and I'll show you guys the difference of what it's like to have the screen in the lowest position and to elevate it all the way up. It makes such a difference. It's honestly like going from a supermoto to being in a car. It's just a complete world of a difference. So, off we go. So the mode button just here is currently in sport mode, which is the most basically the most responsive in terms of the throttle position. If we put it down into touring mode, it just chills it out a little bit more, makes it a lot more usable around town. And we'll go back into sports mode. So I'm currently in sports mode, and I'm going to show you what the throttle pickup is like full throttle. Are you ready? So as you can see, she picks up very quickly. And for all you sort of 19 to 21 year old riders who currently have your A2 licence, if you've got 11 grand lying about, you can legally ride one of these standard. Bike is just an absolute joy to ride. There's no gears to worry about. It's just throttle, front brake, rear brake, done. That is it. No stress. So right now, the screen is in its lowest position. Let me bring it up and show you guys just what it's like. So as you can probably notice already, I've got my visor all the way up, and you can hear me absolutely, completely clear. And that's just due to the fact that the wind is literally being elevated over my helmet, and I can't feel a thing apart from a little bit of wind coming around the screen. So for long motorway journeys and winter use, absolutely perfect. But in the summer, when you do get really hot, it's nice to have a good bit of airflow. You probably can't notice it on the microphone too well, but when you are riding, even with the stock exhaust, there's a few little pops and backfires. It's quite funny. And there we go. I can still talk to you nice and clear. And that's 90 kilometers per hour. Wink, wink. Let's bring that screen down and just show you the complete difference of wind noise. So you can probably notice that already. There's quite a bit of a sort of whistling coming from the microphone. Literally do that screen on the fly. It handles absolutely amazingly. Definitely one of the best scooters I've had handle-wise.